Hmm. Jai Baba. Nothing is real but God. Nothing matters but love for God. God is the only reality. All else that seems real is illusory. God and I are one. Meher Baba. Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. Thank you, beloved Baba. Jai Baba to all of you. We are reading the book called Conversations with the Awakener, and we are on page number 77, starting a new chapter. Boredom dissolves in your smile.
It's really good that you came just now, I said eagerly, beckoning you to a chair. This is such a hot and humid day, and I was feeling extremely bored. With a regal glance and a benign smile, you took your seat. I have that strange habit of visiting people even when I am not called or remembered by them, you remarked. This whim of yours is indeed a blessed benediction for an ordinary person like me. It has offered me a gracious, timely gift. You seemed to disregard my words and instead replied, "But why are you feeling bored?" I shrugged. "I don't know." "Why don't you try to know?" you urged. Thoughts rushed through my mind and I began to speculate aloud. Perhaps the feeling of boredom possesses a person when one is either satiated with the pleasures of the senses, or perhaps it stealthily creeps into one's mind when one forgets what a priceless gift this life given by you truly is. And I paused, feeling somewhat swollen with self satisfaction, for my answer had an intellectual tone that pleased me. But then, as though to prick the bubble of my pride, you ignored my words. Boredom is a lethargic void. It is experienced by a mind that has become so self centered that it has lost the awareness of the fullness and richness of the ever renewing life. Why
When,
you
when,
when
when.
you do not have the bliss of experiencing my aloneness in you and shut yourself away in the uncomfortable cage of your own loneliness, you feel bored.
Such a profound sentence. But before that, a couple of sentences also require attention. One is that we have all experienced sometimes when we call out to Baba, we feel his presence and his participation in our life. But there are so many times when we have not consciously, with awareness, called out to him, but we find his presence in the nick of time to save us from some kind of a catastrophe or something like that. I'm sure many of us would have observed, noticed in their own life that in a split second, something could have gone wrong, and somehow something from somewhere saved you from the predicament. So it shows that while we may or may not be conscious of him or aware of him, he is forever conscious and aware of each one of us. And he presents himself and gives us the necessary support, help, whatever it is, guidance in the nick of time. That has been my experience, and I'm sure all of you may also have experienced that. I'm reminded of a joke which I read somewhere. I'm sure it must be in WhatsApp or whatever, where a gentleman, I don't know the exact words, but words to the effect always, that he is wanting to cross a road, and all of a sudden, there's a voice which comes from within, stop, and he stops. And from the wrong side of the road, a truck or something passes off, and he says, "Oh my God, bless my soul, I was so fortunate that something in me, the God in me, told me to stop." So he goes. Then on he goes, and something else happens, like he wants to enter a tunnel, not knowing that a train is going to come from the other side, and again the stop. So, like that, couple of instances happen, and he is so what should I say, grateful to the Lord for having saved him in the nick of time. And then this gentleman asked God, but may I ask you a question? He said, yeah, what is it? Why did you not present yourself when I was about to get married? So the Lord answers that, why did you not give me a hint when I was about to get married? So the Lord answers, hint that I have been shouting at the top of my voice, sort of, cautioning you. But where are you? You are in your own musty with band baja and all that. So you did not bother to hear my voice. So in other words, that was just a joke. In other words, we need to be in full-time awareness of the signs, of the hints that we may get within us in order to save us. Means, in other words, constantly be in tune with our inner being so that that guides us, prompts us, and tells us what not and whatever we need to do or not to do. So that was one sentence which needed a little explanation. And then now talking about, sorry, feeling bored.
Cyrus.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
sorry, I did not see you. Yeah.
No, that's okay. The Lord did listen to me.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you are the fortunate one. Yeah, I think Rakesh has a question. Rakesh, do you have a question, Gupta?
Yeah, I've been wanting to ask this. Just thought that maybe it'll get cleared up on the way, but I just tempted to ask this. This book was written much later by Bal Natuji, and he's writing both things, himself and Baba also.
Yes.
So these are effectively Bal Natuji's words. How
Yes.
come they have?
Right.
How come they have the same profundity or the weight as Baba's words?
That
So
is the
that's
marvel.
what.
Is it true for other Mandi people also? I haven't read much of any of those books, but this
Well,
seems to be extraordinary.
Not many Mandli have written similar books except for Bhauji. There's a book called Awakening, where he is also communicating with Baba, supposedly like how Balnatuji is, and he's getting the messages from Baba, in the heart, and then he writes out. So that was one, and then most of the letters from the Mandali. Many people would be writing to the Mandali, and Mandali would be responding or replying. Mostly it would be Erach or money. And when you read that, we also find a lot of profundity in that, because they are also, in a sense, reflecting Baba's sentiments and Baba's words. It may not be, and after Baba dropped the body, I'm talking about. Erach had once very beautifully said, something to do with us. We supposedly are Baba lovers, supposedly are supposed to disseminate Baba's message of love, truth, and oneness. Sorry?
Through our lives.
Through our lives, and oneness of all life, And Erach would say that all you need to do is to keep yourself, in other words, your eye, immaculately clean. We call it chakachak. Like how you clean a mirror. When you clean a mirror, and when the mirror is immaculately clean, it is able to reflect the sunlight or any source of light in the same profound intensity, right? But if the mirror is smudged with dust and all kinds of dirt and all that, then it is not able to reflect the light. So in the same way, Erach would say that our job is to keep ourselves so clean all the time that we are able to reflect Baba's love through us to others in our environment. So our job, never take the pride that I am the source of that light or that solace or that whatever benefit that you are conferring on somebody else. You are just a reflecting instrument. Although from the standpoint of truth, I don't exist. It is only Baba doing all the. But that we gradually come to that, because at one time there has to be a beloved and a lover. But at the fag end of the journey, we realize that the lover himself was the beloved whom he was seeking, or whom he was searching for. So that's a different story. So coming back to your question, Bhauji had written similar book, and most of the Mandali reflect it, but they have not written a book like this. Okay, Rakesh.
So another thing I want to ask you,
Please.
do you think that Balnatoji is being modest here? Because, you know, the simplicity and I would say the emotions and the sentiments he's expressing seems quite like our own. And we are
Absolutely.
nowhere reflecting the light he is able to. So,
Right.
I mean, I see a lot of difference there, you know, what he's expressing and what he's receiving through Baba. There's a whole lot of difference there.
So in other words, he is playing the role of each one of us. According to my understanding, he is playing the role of us, having weaknesses, having shortcomings, having attachments, having fear, having worry, having boredom, and so many other things that will follow. So he's our vakil, so to speak. He is our lawyer, that he is posing questions to the Awakener, which is Baba, and then Baba is so beautifully, so lucidly, so sweetly responding to all his emotional turmoil the way we can understand it. So if you have met Bal Natuji, like most of us have met, you know, he was an absolutely down-to-earth, simple person. He was always having some kind of sickness. He was not a very healthy, big-built person. He was very sick. He was very weak. He was very meek, you know, in his own temper. Sorry? Hello? Dattaji, your mic is on. Thank you, sir. So he himself, his personality was such, you know. He was very, very soft-spoken, very, very meek, very docile, and all that. So he's reflecting all that. And it's a treasure for each one of us. I would say it's a very great treasure that we are able to understand what is the standpoint from the awakener's point of view, and how we are supposed to, let's say, conduct ourselves or respond when we go through all these things. So that's like that.
You know, another thing is, Bal Natu was from Maharashtra, interior Maharashtra. He was a teacher and he only had his education in Marathi. But after coming to Baba and reading only the circulars which were issued by Baba, he picked up English. And what an English.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So,
Extremely.
you know, even reading Baba's circulars can make your English, you can improve your English and polish it to such an extent.
So then again, so here Bal Natuji is feeling bored, like most of us do at one point or the other in our life. And Baba is poking him, like triggering him to find out. He says, why don't you try to know? Why are you feeling so bored? And then he gives a very bombastic answer to that. Answer as to what could be the reason why he's feeling bored. And then Baba gives this superb paragraph, why people feel bored. See, now Baba is saying, and here one sentence before that, you ignored my words. So that is again Baba's trait. Many a time, you know, people will talk so many things. Baba would just ignore, knowing that it doesn't have any dumb. You call it dumbness. You know, no strength, no meaning. Now Baba replies, and which is very important. Boredom is a lethargic void. Only when we are lethargic, we feel the void and the boredom. When we are active, when we are proactive, when we are involved in so many things that is going on in our life, there will never be a sense of boredom. So in other words, again, one indication, one cue, one key is to keep ourselves always busy or involved in something or the other that does not bring on this boredom. It is experienced by a mind that has become so self-centered. Again, boredom is a reflection or a result or an effect of being self-centered. Just as how depression is, people talk about depression. The moment somebody is depressed, you ask that person to take care of somebody else, to take care of some old people, to take care of a cat or a dog or something. That depression will go away because there is no thought about the self there. You are thinking about the betterment of the others. So here Baba says that your mind has become so self-centered that it has lost the awareness of the fullness and richness of the ever renewing life. Life is ever renewing. Constantly it is going in circles, you know. It starts, the birth is there, the middle age is there. You see the plants, they're ever renewing. You see anything, it is all cyclical. So once we have lost the richness and the fullness, the awareness of the richness of the and the fullness of the ever renewing life, then we feel bored. Another beautiful one. When you do not have the bliss of experiencing my aloneness in you, Baba alone is, or he alone exists. There's a poem, very beautiful poem we all know, You Alone Exist, written
Tum hi to ho.
To Me To Ho by Baba and Bhauji.
Bhauji.
Actually, it is more of Baba's addition to that stanzas, but we'll come to that some other time. So here, when you do not have the bliss of experiencing my aloneness in you and shut yourself away in the uncomfortable cage of your own loneliness, you feel bored. What a superb, there's a play of words, aloneness and loneliness. When we are aware of Baba's presence in us and aloneness in each and everyone and everything, that means once we cultivate that eye to appreciate the ever renewing life that is going all around us and see it not as something else, but see it as his presence in everyone and everything, then you can never feel bored. So that is the sentence. All right, go ahead.
I realized immediately the pointlessness of ever trying to show off or put on pretensions with you. Quite honestly, I had hardly understood my own high-sounding remarks, nor had I comprehended your rejoinder.
So now he's so honest that I don't know why I said so many bombastic words to show off to you that this could be the cause of my loneliness or my boredom. So he says, I myself do not understand why I spoke all these things and what is the implication, repercussion of that, nor do I even understand your rejoinder. Your rejoinder means your answer to my problem.
So now I responded with more humility. Do you mean that to forget your bounty is to invite boredom? You look pleased with this change in my attitude.
Forgetting his bounty. In other words, it is always said that one has to be at all times in the space of gratitude. We have to always be in that place of gratitude towards everyone and everything, more so towards Baba. So once here, the last sentence is, do you mean that to forget your bounty? Bounty means the grace that he has given, is to invite boredom? Go ahead.
You look pleased with this change in my attitude. Yes, that is one of the reasons. The fact is, everything is fine because everything is mine.
See, Baba was a great poet. We all know he used to write ghazals, he used to write poems, he used to write skits and all that. So here he says, everything is fine because everything is mine. And that's a fact of the case, that when it is all his, it is fine. But we sometimes do not feel things not fine. We feel it not fine because we have got a very narrow vision. We do not see the whole expanse of why things happen the way they happen. We have not yet seen the whole jigsaw puzzle. We are only playing with 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 pieces, and we feel that things are not going quite fine or quite right. But according to Baba, he says everything is fine because everything is mine.
You don't realize this consciously because in your dealings with others, you unconsciously draw a line between mine and thine.
So here we always do that. This is mine, this is thine. So unconsciously, we are exhibiting our false I or ego, whatever you call it. And this is I, this is you. As long as things go right for this I am happy, I am jubilant. If things don't go right for this I, and it goes right for thine, for somebody else's I, then I am feeling very uncomfortable about it.
To avoid boredom, you simply have to try to feel my indivisible presence permeating your surroundings.
His presence is indivisible. As we keep on repeating this, that Baba is not only infinite and eternal, but he is also indivisible. That means there cannot be any division, any department in Baba. Because we forget to experience his indivisibility, therefore we have this mine and thine stuff.
This is not easy, true. But if you try to change the way you act and react, there will be less friction in your responses to your environment and to other persons.
So here again, Baba is saying, try. Baba uses the word try quite often in many of his discourses. Why? Because he knows we may not be able to achieve. But if we try, and if we try honestly and sincerely, the help is sure to come from the other side. And therefore, Baba insisted on so many things. You try, and I will help you. But we have to try honestly. So here Baba says, but if you try to change the way you act and react, the whole issue, the whole game of this life is how we respond to what life is serving us. If we learn the act of responding always in a positive manner, irrespective of what or who the other person is or what is happening in our life, then by and by things start changing in our life, because we are not winding the reacting or the reactive watch, let's put it the clock. We are responding. So your Baba says, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Then there will be less friction in your responses to your environment and to other persons. The friction, you see any issue, the friction is because of the I. Many times as Wayne Dyer, we must be knowing his name. He was a very good motivational speaker in the US. He's no more now. He would say, that words to the effect again, that this is my way, what is your way? There is no the way. But here what happens is, my way, I make it the way. That means whatever I say, whatever whatever I am saying, whatever I am feeling, whatever I am thinking is the only way that it can be done. And then the other person says the same thing. So what happens? Friction. This is Baba's sign of friction. Jagda, quarrels, friction happens because we do not understand that there are many ways of approaching a problem or an issue, and there is no the way.
Love is the lubricant. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Love is
very good. Love is the lubricant, is very good. Why? Because when you really love a person, you think of anybody whom you love, anybody. If that person makes a mistake, what would you do? You will forgive. You will tolerate. You will keep on forgiving. You will keep on covering up the mistake. You will keep on, maybe you will counsel. You may show anger. You may show disgust. But that is besides the point. But because there is love, you are still together. Even though may it be between husband and wife, between mother and father, between whosoever it may be, between the siblings, where there is love, very beautifully said, it's a lubricant. So things, and that is why Baba says, that the greatest law of God is love that holds the key to all problems. Where there is love, there is oneness. Where there is oneness, where is the question of mine and thine? When there is no question of mine and thine, where is the question of friction? So everything becomes frictionless. Who wrote this?
Rakesh Gupta.
Oh, Rakesh. Oh, okay. So I don't pay attention on the screen.
Neither do I.
All right. Great, Rakesh. Thank you.
But how to bring this change about? I pleaded. You winked at me pleasantly. It's simple. Eat, but taste not. Touch, but carry not. See, but enough, I cried. Excuse me, please. But when you converse with me, please don't do so from your beyond abode.
1 minute. So this is a very great advice. No, eat but taste not. This was the advice even Buddha had given. That you listen but you don't hear, something like that. In other words, the problem comes because everything we analyze on the basis of our subjective mind. On the basis of our subjective mind would mean on the basis of our samskaras. On the basis of samskaras would mean on the basis of our past experiences connected with that person or place or whatever it is. That means we are bringing forth a huge amount of preconceived notions, a huge amount of spectacles, as we say. You are wearing spectacles. The world is, let's say, colorless. But if you are wearing red, you will see the world red. If you're wearing blue, you see blue and yellow and whatever it is. So we are supposed to remove the spectacles and see the world as is. That means without, the past will definitely educate us, there's no doubt. But we cannot make that as the basis or the platform of our reactions or of our responses to life in the moment. Every moment is a separate moment. It's a fresh moment. So once we learn that art of responding to the objective aspect of what is going on and not necessarily, not to the subjective, which means not what my experience was, So here, taste, what eat but taste not. So in other words, do not allow your mind to distinguish, differentiate, or whatever you call it, to in a sense, find out the differences. This is good tasting, this is not a good tasting. So similarly, when you hear something, let's say, for example, I'll just give a very crude example. Somebody gave me a very, what should I say, bad word, what do you call it? A slang word. I can't say it on the public platform now. But Soumya warns me, don't. And I am always afraid of her. We all know that. So supposing somebody is giving me a bad word, Ben, Ma, immediately I get so annoyed, so irritated, so puffed up, so spiked up. How dare you? And that is what it is. Now, the words that he has spoken or she has spoken anyway, they are just words. They are just words, nothing. They are entering into my auditory canal, and then I am using my mind to interpret that, to analyze that, and say whether it is a good word or a bad word. And if it's a good word, a word of, what should I say, of pleasant word, whatever, I feel nice. But if it is supposedly a bad word, somebody ridicules me, somebody criticizes me, somebody says a slang word to me, I get immediately irritated. Why? Not because of the word, but because of my own interpretation of the word. Now, mind you, you are walking on a road and somebody from behind gives you a tight slap, thump, and not just a thump, which is an aggressive action, but also the same word What is it called?
Cyrus, cuss.
Okay, cuss word. A cuss word. Somebody says a cuss word. Immediately I get so irritated and I turn around, like I want to bash him. And what I see is my friend with whom I had studied 45, 50 years before, and he is there. What do? I will hug him. I will embrace him. Even tears may start flowing from both the eyes. Now the word is the same. The aggression is also there. But my interpretation is that, oh my God, means that the word in itself does not make a difference. In the same way, what Baba is trying to convey in my limited understanding of things is that we need to, let's put it that way, not take everything subjective, but take it at the point of time, as we say, the infinite, the eternal now, the present moment, whatever that is, and accordingly one response. Let's see what Baba has. This is just, it came in my mind and I thought maybe that is what Baba is meaning. Enough,
And
I cried.
And at this, you gave me an intimate look through which I could feel your love and sense of humor alike.
Because when Baba says eat but taste not and all that, he says, Baba, please don't talk from your level of the beyond abode. Please come down to my level because I don't understand what you are trying to convey.
I can't help being in the beyond, you answered. Infinity is my real home, but my love brings me down to everyone and causes me to reside in everything. You paused momentarily and then resumed. I hope you at least follow what I say now. Beware that the moments of pleasure derived from the senses don't distract you from my presence and bind you to their objects. And let not the moments of pain drown you in selfish interests and anticipations so that you forget my being with you, sharing in your suffering.
Again, such a profound, we all go through a period of pleasure, sense pleasure, and a period of suffering. Again, mostly sense suffering, which is pain and even mental suffering. So here Baba says, beware. Now Baba says, now I'm talking your language. I'm not talking the beyond language, although I always live in the beyond, but for your sake, my love brings me down and I reside in each one of you. So Baba says, beware that the moments of pleasure derived from the senses don't distract you from my presence and bind you to their objects. There is a saying, I think it was Baba only who said, or maybe somebody else, masti mein bhi apna sar saki ke kadmon pe. Masti means in the height of intoxication, in the height of pleasure, apna sar, your head. Saki is the one, he's a wine giver. In spiritual terminology, Saki is the one who pours wine into the cup, the divine wine, obviously, into each one's soul. So even in the height of intoxication, in the height of pleasure, you see that your head is at the feet of your master. That is what it means. So Baba says here, beware that in the pleasure, you do not, it does not distract you from my presence and bind you to their objects. That means we get bound to the objects of pleasure. That should not be. The second thing Baba said, and let not the moments of pain, when we are in pain, most of us get very selfish. We are only brooding about, I'm getting pain, what do you know? Only the wearer knows where the shoe pinches and all that stuff. You see? So Baba says, and let not the moments of pain drown you in selfish interests. We get into a shell, in a cocoon sort of thing. We get into a selfish mode. We get very irritable. Our behavior is very different from the normal behavior. we understand that nobody understands us, that you people don't understand me. I am going through so much of suffering. So beware, Baba says, that the pain should not drown you in selfish interests and anticipations. There are many anticipations that we have when we are in pain. And so that you forget my being with you. In pain also, you realize that not only am I with you, but I am also sharing in your suffering. Many, many, many times Baba had said during his physical ministry, when suffering is brought about, and Baba says, you have got no idea of how much of the suffering that you are bearing now, how much I have buffered it, I have cushioned it, I have taken it upon myself, and only this much I'm giving you because that is in your lot. In your lot, there's a lot more, but I have taken, being in his love orbit, I have taken so much of your suffering. So can you just read out the last paragraph again and then proceed?
Beware that the moments of pleasure derived from the senses don't distract you from my presence and bind you to their objects, and let not the moments of pain drown you in selfish interests and anticipations, so that you forget my being with you, sharing in your suffering.
That means whenever we are experiencing pleasure, and Baba has said, enjoy everything, but don't be attached to it, don't be a slave to it. So we must understand that we should not become a slave to the objects of pleasure, whatever that may be. And similarly, whenever we are going through pain, let us not be selfish. Let us not be, in short, let us realize and understand that Baba is also simultaneously suffering in our suffering.
I will try, but I have doubts about how successful I will be. I stared at you with a desperate look, and you gazed back at me soothingly. I know, but await the wonder you will experience upon relying on me more and more.
Here again, Baba is expecting us to rely on him more and more.
It is my pleasure to help you and everyone, because I am the source of life, the flow and the goal. Earnest longing to reach me will make the impossible possible. Don't run away from the world. Be brave. I don't expect you to totally deny the pleasures of the senses, but don't be their slave.
So once again, same thing. Baba is please me more and more. Last time we did that. Please me more and more by depending upon me more and more. First with small things, then smaller, and then still smaller. So for everything and anything, Baba would be happy if we depend upon him. And the other thing Baba says, which is a very beautiful sentence, that I am always happy to help you. Earlier on, we had done, that the divine will adjusts itself to the human will. We have done that before in one of the chapters. So Baba says that I am always eager to help you. I am always willing to help you. I remember once, and I'm a witness to this. We were sitting in Merazad or somewhere, and Balnatuji was speaking about, and he said, Baba is so loving. He is so eager to help us, to come to our help. And he demonstrated it very beautifully that before we could say ba, the second ba has not come. We just say ba, and the Baba is looking down at us and, okay, come on, what do you want me to do? Tell me. He is so anxious to help us, more anxious to help us than we are anxious for his help. So in other words, Baba says that I am always willing to help you. Why? Because I am the source, I am the flow, and I am the goal. How beautifully put, that he is everything, the beginning and the ending and everything in between. So he said, I am willing to help you. And then Baba says, don't run away from the world. Baba has time and time again to so many people, Baba had said, and people wanted to join Baba, I remember Noshirwan Anzar, even in my case, when I had written to Baba to leave everything and join him, he said, have to be in the world and have to face everything in the world for a simple reason that that is the place which will, even for Don Stevens, Don wanted to do, and Baba said, no, who do you think placed you there? He was a very important executive in one of the oil multinational oil company. And Baba said, who do you think put you there? I placed you there, and you are supposed to be there and do your job there. So each one of us is placed in the world in a position where we are best suited in the sense according to the samskaras, so that our samskaras can best be annulled or what should I say, balanced out in that, utilized, balanced out experience in that particular place. So he said, don't run away from the world. Be brave. Again, Baba has given a lot of importance to being courageous, being brave, and at the same time, you are supposed to face the world kindly and bravely. When you are brave, we tend to become very ruthless, very crude, very callous in a sense, heartless. But so we need to be a fine balance between being brave and being kind. So Baba says, I don't expect you to totally deny the pleasures of the senses, but don't be their slaves. The Master, God Himself, is saying, do everything, but do not be attached to it. Do not be a slave to it.
But I find this life to be such a swift, elusive flow of alternating pleasure and pain that my mind and heart are overwhelmed, and it is difficult to maintain a balance centered in your remembrance.
Life is constantly oscillating. So he says it is elusive. It is pleasure is there, pain is there, this is there. So because of that oscillation, I find it difficult to be centered in your remembrance. That is what Baba says, that we have to be centered in his remembrance.
The same problem confronts everyone. You are not alone. You too must pass through these aspects of life. You have to accept life as it is. At the same time, you must know the line of demarcation beyond which not to transgress. That is really very difficult. Temptations often overrule me. Couldn't you whistle when I'm about to cross the line?
The same thing, whistling and
You smile. Whistle? I blow a loud siren, but you are deaf to it. Why should I be deaf? You look deep into my eyes and answered, because you are so absorbed and so attached to your sense experiences that you become totally lost in them. Wake up to my ever responsive presence in you.
Again, a similar this thing, that Baba is always there with us. I had given you an example and I repeat it for those who may have come in new, is that Baba one day asked the Mandali to sit and meditate upon his face, that bring my face, my image on your third eye and just meditate for a few seconds, for a few minutes, whatever. And then Baba snapped and asked Francis Brabazon, who was Baba's disciple, who was in Merazar. So Francis said, Baba, you come and go. There, you come and go. And very profoundly, Baba said, no, it is you who come and go. I am always there. So in other words, Baba's guidance, Baba's voice, Baba's hint, Baba's help is always there. It is only when we are so preoccupied in our own sense objects and everything and so attached to it that we fail to hear his signals or whatever the signs. Correct.
So many problems paraded before me, so many temptations roped me in. I have not yet shed my doubt
Sorry.
and had not come out of my slumber. What you had said was a greater challenge than I was ready to face. I felt you had stepped out of your home, the beyond, but only one step. It
This is
was
it's a very humorous thing, you know. Baba said, Bal Natuji says, Baba, you don't talk the language of your beyond, which is your abode. You know, you come to our level and talk. Only then we will be able to implement and do whatever you want us to do. And then here Bal Natuji is confessing about so many temptations that I just cannot. And then a very, I would say, very witty statement where Baba says, yes, you have stepped out of your home, we understand, but you have stepped out only one step. In other words, you have not really come down to us at our level. You may have left your abode, which is in the beyond, but you have just taken one step, which is still too high for us to understand. That's what he was trying to convey.
It was still hot and I was thirsty, so I said, I will have a glass of water and get one for you too. And I got up, turned my back to reach for the water jug on the windowsill. I quenched my thirst and filled a glass for you. But when I turned back to offer the glass to you, I found that the chair was empty.
So this is the way Baba would always come unannounced and go again. You know, very rarely he would say, now may I go if your issues are over, may I go. So yeah, okay.
I was surprised and shaken by a disappearance. How distracting even a small desire can be, capable of depriving me of the blessed fortune of being with you.
So here again, it's a very important thought that many times we are deeply entrenched in the beauty of Baba. You know, we are in our own self, you know, we are talking, discussing, loving him, getting his answers, and a small distraction, you know, like how, for example, you're getting a glass of water, you know, it spoils the whole show. And then when you try to come back to that place, you feel that, oh, you've lost it. Many of us feel that way, you know, that when the going is good, one should continue to flow with the good going rather than being distracted by any such incidents.
And I was surprised and shaken by your disappearance. How distracting even a small desire can be, capable of depriving me of the blessed fortune of being with you. And I realized at that point that my offer to get you a glass of water had only been a pretense to have a drink myself.
See, many of us so very down to earth what we do, you know. And sometimes, you know, I'll just say, for example, if I want to have a pickle, we are eating something and I want to have a pickle. Then I may say, tell Soumya, Soumya, can I get you pickle? Now, actually, I want it, you know. But this, either you call it a hypocrisy, whether you call it whatever you call it. But here, Balnatu realizes that actually I asked you whether I can get you a glass of water was in fact my desire to have a glass of water. But I put it in such a way as if I am obliging you or as if I'm being so nice. Sorry?
I'm serving you.
I'm serving you, something like that. So again, I say many of us may do it, you know, like we want certain things done and we put it across to the other person in such a manner as if we are obliging somebody else or serving somebody else or being nice to somebody else.
And I suddenly remembered that as I was turning away from you, a translucent tenderness shone from your face. You closed your eyes and softly smiled. You were giving me your consent, and it was also a sign with a deeper meaning hidden in it. Now, as I stood gazing at the empty chair, accepting my guilt, the fragrance of your presence filled the room with your smile and quietly dispelled the lingering traces of my boredom. Your presence touched my heart so that tears gathered in my eyes. What kindness you had shown me! What an unconditional forgiving! And a voice chanted within me. The moment I feel your ever fresh smile, my boredom willingly retreats a mile.
So beautiful. So here there's nothing much to talk about except that he realized his mistake of disturbing the free flow of, I would say, loving exchange that was going on between the author and Baba and the Awakener. And then he realized that the moment I got up, I could see a very translucent, not a transparent, but like a, what should I say? Translucent. Where you make, yeah, it's not transparent, it's not opaque. It's go between the two, image, and I could feel that you got up and you smiled at me. And always Baba's smile is such that you can interpret it in whatever way you want to interpret. So here he says that it was a sign that you were going, and it also contain a very deeper meaning hidden in it. Now, as I stood gazing at the empty chair, accepting my guilt, he was feeling guilty that I shouldn't have broken that that tuning which was happening between the two of us. I shouldn't have broken it for such a paltry, such a small, insignificant stuff. The fragrance of your presence filled the room with your smile and quietly dispelled the lingering traces of my boredom. So the lingering traces of the boredom is now over with. Your presence touched my heart so that tears gathered in my eyes. What kindness you had shown me. What an unconditional forgiving. Baba's forgiving is most unconditional. And we have a film where Baba is gesturing about his forgiveness, and Mani talks about it and says that when he says, I forgive, it comes as if it is coming from the deep of his being, and there is no trace, not a minuscule trace of anything that was done in the past being retained. It is all washed off. She gives an example of how the ocean comes on the shore and takes away all the kachra, all the dust and everything. So everything just gets washed off in Baba's forgiveness. It is most unconditional. And a voice chanted within me, the moment I feel your ever fresh smile, my boredom willingly retreats a mile. So in other words, a lesson for all of us, if and when, if at all we ever feel bored, we need to remember his presence in everyone and everything and try to be less and less selfish or self-centered, because most of the boredom comes from there. I think we are done with it. Let me see. No, the other chapter again is quite a few pages. I wouldn't want to start that. We'll look into it. Sorry? No. We have only how many minutes? 7 minutes. No, I don't want to break the chapter because then it doesn't make maja. At least I don't feel the fun of it. So we still have about 7 minutes, 6-7 minutes. I would request Soumya to maybe sing some Baba song, or if anybody has to share anything or wants to ask anything, please feel free to do so. Not just ask, but even share on how we have been going with the new book that we have decided to follow through. If anybody has to share anything. Nothing, nobody. Good. Okay. So now we were doing about you alone exist. Baba had asked Bauji to write a poem, and he gave the first stanza. And then Bauji had so many other duties to come. So every now and then Bauji, whenever he has written, he would read out to Baba, and Baba would make certain changes and approve it. And that is how it would go on. Then one fine day, Bauji writes that Baba himself gave something like 18, I'm not very sure about it now, 18 stanzas about it. And this, and I think, so,
28
so, okay, Ram Nori, you have something to share?
I have something to ask.
Yeah, please do.
That is nothing related with the current book. But
Can we do the since we did about this, you alone exist. Okay, is it something to do with God's sleep?
No,
Okay, ask me, Fatak say, quickly.
but it's in God's hand.
Oh my God.
We are all in God's hands, so don't worry about that.
No, see, in God's hands, you remember the diagram where, ordinary sleep,
Ah,
dream,
ah.
ordinary dream, and
Yeah,
ordinary
go
sleep.
ahead. Oh.
Ordinary awakening, ordinary dream and ordinary sleep, just sleep. That's not even ordinary. Then divine dream and divine awakening.
Okay.
So when you dream, let's talk about just the ordinary dream. So do we dream when you dream? Before you go into a deep sleep, state. But you also, after sleep, you also awaken. So you have to go. Do you go through the dream state and then you also dream while you're coming down, or you dream
Yes,
only
both
when
ways.
both ways?
Both ways we dream whilst going from the what we call now is a false awake state. From the
Yeah.
false awake state to the sound sleep state, which is the same as the beyond state of God, we
Yeah.
pass through the dream state. And on our way back also, we pass through the dream state and come to the awake state,
Okay.
which is a regular feature. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
See, that was simple.
Sorry?
I said that was simple.
That was
Yeah. Right now you are in dream state.
I'm always in dream state.
All right. Now Soumya is going to read this. It's a very beautiful poem. Much of it is given by Baba, unbeknown to many others, but then we know now. And Bauji was ridiculed. How can you ever write like this? It's such a stupid thing, and all that. But Baba said, do not change a single word. People must understand and know that God is not only in things which are acceptable, which are beautiful, which are pure, which are nice and good and noble, but God is also in those things which are unacceptable, which are dirty, which are filthy, and which we abhor. So God is also in that. So Baba said a time will come when this will become like a prayer, and each household will pray and know and realize that there is nothing besides God, and that God is in everyone and everything. Everyone and everything would mean everything, even though it may be something which we call negative right now. Go ahead.
This was given in Hindi. There's an English
No,
translation also. I'll be
only
speaking. I'll be
Hindi.
reciting in Hindi.
Only Hindi.
तुम ही तो हो बाहर भीतर ज्ञान के आगर करुणा सागर तुम ही तो हो सकल चराचर गुण के सागर मेहर प्रभुवर तुम ही तो हो तुम ही हो यजदान तुम ही हो इज्जत अल्लाह ईश्वर तुम ही तो हो राम तुम ही हो बुद्धा प्यारे गिरिवर तुम ही तो हो परब्रह्म तुम ही हो ईश्वर दया के सागर तुम ही तो हो तुम ही पयंबर हो पुरुषोत्तम ज्ञान के आगर तुम ही तो हो हर में तुम हो हर ही तुम हो ज्योतिक प्रियवर तुम ही तो हो निर्गुण तुम हो और सगुण भी पी लीलाधर तुम ही तो हो तुम ही निराले तुम ही अकेले सब में बसकर तुम ही तो हो अविचल स्वामी अविचल धामी सबके ऊपर तुम ही तो हो कर्ता कारक कर्म तुम ही हो पालक गुरुवर तुम ही तो हो साधन साधक और साधना मेहर प्रभुवर तुम ही तो हो आगे पीछे ऊपर नीचे स्वामी घर घर तुम ही तो हो परे परे हो भरे भरे हो सबके अंदर तुम ही तो हो तुम ही कबीला तुम ही बसीला सकल चराचर तुम ही तो हो ऊपर नीचे जहां कहीं भी एक बराबर तुम ही तो हो तुम ही अगोचर गोचर भी हो सब में हरिहर तुम ही तो हो कोई नहीं है सिवा तुम्हारे परम उजागर तुम ही तो हो तुम ही हो इंसान तुम ही पक्षी मछली जानवर तुम ही तो हो खटमल पीसू सांप और बिच्छू चींटी मच्छर तुम ही तो हो। तुम ही हो कीड़ा, तुम ही हो गोदा, स्वर्ण ब्रह्म खर तुम ही तो हो। हिरण तुम ही हो हाथी, बिल्ली बंदर तुम ही तो हो। चांद सितारे उषा तुम ही हो, रजनी दिनकर तुम ही तो हो। तुम ही हवा हो, तुम ही हो पानी, सारे जलचर तुम ही तो हो। चांदी सोना तांबा लोहा, पीतल पत्थर तुम ही तो हो। चाय तुम ही हो कॉफी, चीनी शक्कर तुम ही तो हो। तुम ही हो कागज, किताब तुम ही हो, शाला दफ्तर तुम ही तो हो। कलम तुम ही हो स्याही, लेखक सुंदर तुम ही तो हो। द्वार तुम ही हो खिड़की, संगे मरमर तुम ही तो हो। तुम ही दवा हो, तुम ही बीमारी, वैद्य घरोगर तुम ही तो हो। खेल तुम ही खिलाड़ी, दर्शक प्रभुवर तुम ही तो हो। फूल तुम ही हो, शूल तुम ही हो, खुशबू सुखद तुम ही तो हो। तुम ही हो गायक, तुम ही हो वीणा, मधुर मधुर स्वर तुम ही तो हो। नमाज तुम हो, कलाम तुम हो, जादू मंत्र तुम ही तो हो। तुम ही सिपाही, तुम ही हो लश्कर, सबके अफसर तुम ही तो हो। तुम ही हो माझी, तुम ही हो नौका, निर्मल सागर तुम ही तो हो। तुम ही हो किश्ती, तुम ही हो तूफान, मोतियों जौहर तुम ही तो हो। तुम ही हो साहिल, तुम ही नाखुदा हो, और समंदर तुम ही तो हो। तुम ही भिखारी, तुम ही हो दाता, दान मनोहर तुम ही तो हो। दास तुम ही हो स्वामी, प्रभु परात्पर तुम ही तो हो। माता पिता गुरु बंधु स्नेही, कुटुंब बिरादर तुम ही तो हो। सिवा तुम्हारे न कोई दूजा, हमेशा अवसर तुम ही तो हो। तुम ही जिगर हो, दिल भी तुम हो, सबके दिलवर तुम ही तो हो। तुम ही हो प्रीतम, तुम ही हो प्रेमी, प्रेम सुधाकर तुम ही तो हो। सांस तुम ही हो जीवन, स्वामी मनहर तुम ही तो हो। तुम ही मका हो, तुम ही मक्की हो, सबके अंदर तुम ही तो हो। तुम ही पुजारी, तुम ही हो पूजा, सबके परवर तुम ही तो हो। तुम ही चेतना, तुम ही साधना, नेहर प्रभुवर तुम ही तो हो। तुम ही हो ख्वाजा, कुतुब तुम ही हो, पीरो कलंदर तुम ही तो हो। तुम ही हो हाफिज, तुम ही सनाई, दारा सिकंदर तुम ही तो हो। ईसा तुम ही इलाही, पाक समंदर तुम ही तो हो। तुम ही हो कुरान, तुम ही नमाजी, वली पयंबर तुम ही तो हो। आदि तुम ही हो, अंत तुम ही हो, परे गुणाकार तुम ही तो हो। परम मनोहर, परम सहोदर, नेहर प्रभुवर तुम ही तो हो। तुम ही हो ब्रह्मा, तुम ही हो विष्णु, भोला शंकर तुम ही तो हो। बाहु भाव कहता ओ प्यारे मेहर, शब्द और अक्षर तुम ही तो हो।
जय बाबा,
मेहर
अवतार
बाबा।
मेहर बाबा की जय. Thank you, beloved Baba. Thanks to all of you.
जय बाबा,
See you on
जय
Tuesday.
बाबा।
Jai Baba.
जय मेहर बाबा, जय मेहर
अवतार
बाबा,
मेहर
जय
बाबा.
मेहर बाबा
जय
की
बाबा।
जय.
मेहर बाबा.